I found myself sitting in front of President Trump in the Oval Office, and I shared my story. This is the man that they told me was a racist. I don't know. I'm scared to death. Is he going to hang me? I don't know. Is he going to call the KKK the way that the media has portrayed it? I'm in a danger zone. How are you going to get someone else's right to live? Because if you understand lifespan development, you know that we all go from being an embryo to a fetus, to an infant, to a toddler, to a child, to a teenager. It's a life. I do not support the Democrat Party. If you can't give Black women another option besides abortion, and if every time we come up as a Black people, as a community on the floor, the only thing we're being offered is free access to abortion, then that tells me you don't really care about Black life. With sex reassignment surgery, as a conservative, it's not something that tax dollars should fund. Because you're anti-LGBTQIA. I'm not anti-L. Don't say that. Don't say that. I'm just asking. But you did. Some of the things I don't agree with. I'm not anti, because when you say anti-LGBTQ, you putting in lesbian, bi, gay, you lumping everything in together. So what are you anti? What are you against then? Explain. I'm asking. So what are you against, ma'am? This is what I don't agree with. I don't agree that I should be forced to recognize a man as a woman if he has had a sex change. I don't believe I should be forced to recognize that. I also don't believe that children should be associated with anything LGBTQ. I'm not against anybody grown doing what they want to do, but I am against associating children with that, and here's why. When you break down LGBTQ, what it means and what it stands for, it's all sexual preference. Children shouldn't be identifying with sexual preference.
Speaking of Donald Trump, you know he was in Iowa. This is Iowa State University. He was at a football game. He had to be there. Yeah, they love him. They love him. People love Donald Trump. But, you know, the Democrats, they got to pull all the stops against Donald Trump to make you believe he's a racist. And he's not for the American people. I don't know if you guys remember her, Angela Stanton. She was running for representative in Georgia. I think she lost. I don't think she won. She was on the Breakfast Club. And of course, she ate them up because they tried to debate gender ideology with her. And she was explaining to them, hey, I have a gay son. Or no, he was transsexual or something like that. And she told him, yeah, you're a boy. And when you get out of my house, you can be whatever the hell you want to be. And they try to say, oh, this is your son. You should support him. Yeah, I do support him after he's 18. I mean, she wasn't playing.
People accuse this man of being a racist. And I just want to say that I met President Donald Trump working on criminal justice reform. I too was one of the ones that said, no, I don't want to go talk to that man. I don't know him. He hates Black people. Well, that's what they said. And so they said, well, Angela, he's working on criminal justice reform. You have a story. Many of you may or may not know that I served time in a Georgia state prison. And while I was serving time in that prison, I want to say this because he's working on criminal justice reform. You have a story. Many of you may or may not know that I served time in a Georgia state prison. And while I was serving time in that prison, I was pregnant. And when it was time for me to deliver my baby, I was transported to a hospital here in Georgia by a police officer, and I was chained to a bed, and I was forced to give birth to my baby with a sheriff watching for a nonviolent crime. Also separated from my family for a nonviolent crime. But you know, the Democrats said we only supposed to fight for the family separation at the border. They forgot all about the family separation in the border.
You hear that? Family separation at the border. They don't care about you because you in the border. Americans, she said she delivered her baby chained up for a nonviolent crime. She couldn't even deliver her baby. She had handcuffs on. Many of you might say, oh, she did the crime. She got to pay the time. Have you ever delivered her child? She wasn't going to get up and walk out anywhere. Come on now.
They want Trump to apologize for the CP5, but they ain't demanded that Joe Biden apologize for the 94 crime bill. But that's
what? Preach. This is my girl right here.
Something else. I had a story. They told me that this man was a racist, but I had a story, and I knew that if I could use my story to convince this man that there was a need to reform our criminal justice system, then I would do that. I wasn't going to be worried about emotions. I wasn't going to be worried about the media. I wasn't going to worry about the naysayers. I was going to go in with my story and see if I could make a difference. Just so happened that he heard my story. Not only did he pass the First Step Act, but he also made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during their childbirth. This white man that they told me was a racist, they told me he hated black people. So not only did he just sign one of the most historic forms of criminal justice reform legislation to ever hit this nation, overturning the 94 crime bill that massively incarcerated black America, freeing nearly 20,000 people to this day. The First Step Act. I sat in the Oval Office with a lot of criminal justice reform advocates. I saw Kim Kardashian.
And correction, it's actually 30,000. It's a little bit over 30,000. 30,000 people were freed because of that First Step Act bill. And most of whom were black people, black men in particular.
On the front page taking her pictures. I saw Alice Johnson. I saw Louis Reed. I saw Van Jones. I saw Jessica Jackson. I saw, what's her name? Vivica Fox. I saw Isaiah Washington. But I don't see any of them here today. A lot of people want to take a lot of credit for being criminal justice reform experts, criminal justice reform advocates, but to tell the truth, you didn't free nobody. Trump did. Kim Kardashian had the nerve to put up a tweet to say free Gunna. Gunna is a YSL rapper tied to the Young Thug case, charged with RICO, the same DA, the same charges. You put up a tweet and say free a known gangster in Atlanta, Georgia, but you won't put up a tweet and say free President Trump.
Right. That's that fakeness.
And the only reason you getting any credit for freeing anybody is because President Donald J. Trump signed the papers. As a criminal justice reform advocate, somebody that's grateful to President Donald Trump for giving me a second chance, giving me an opportunity to run for Congress by clearing my record. Somebody who was completely oblivious to the corruption that happens in Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to do something for my community. I refuse to be silent. Not only will I stand for Atlanta, Georgia, not only will I stand for America, not only will I stand for the babies being aborted in the womb, not only will I stand for the mothers that choose life, I'm also going to stand with President Donald Trump.
I'm telling you, Angela Stanton, telling you, you guys I'm surprised she didn't win because she's the truth. But she's right. We tweeting out justice for that YSL boy, or the guy, Young Thug, he's in for a RICO charge, same as Donald Trump, and he didn't get no bond, but he's trafficking in drugs and killing people. This is a gang member, so it doesn't equate. Anyway, so people love Donald Trump. He's become more popular in the black community. Now, Angela Stanton always been in his corner. And I think because he didn't judge her from her past, he basically looked at her just like any other person. And many people of the Democratic Party will tell you Donald Trump is racist. That narrative, they've been pushing that, and that narrative is not true. They need to stop that. And we need to stop believing it, especially Black folks. We as Black folks, we need to stop believing that narrative that Donald Trump is racist.